Hello and welcome back to the English Unlocked Zone. I'm so glad you're here to join us on our mission to make mastering English both simple and enjoyable. Today, Finn and I are tackling a topic that honestly can be a little daunting, even for native speakers sometimes, asking for directions.
You really can, Nora. There's nothing quite like that feeling of being completely lost in a new city, or even a new part of your own city, and having to ask for help. It really puts your language skills to the test, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's not just about knowing the right words, it's also about understanding the response, especially when people speak quickly or have a different accent. So, today we're going to break down some key phrases, give you some practical tips, and hopefully build your confidence for your next adventure.
Definitely. Let's start with the basics. What's the very first thing you should do when approaching someone to ask for directions? I mean, beyond just saying hello?
Great question. Politeness is key. Always start with excuse me or pardon me to get their attention respectfully. Then, you can launch into your request. My go-to is usually, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to? It's clear, direct, and polite.
Yeah. Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to? Is a classic for a reason. It works everywhere. Another one I use a lot is, excuse me, I'm looking for the nearest, and then you fill in the blank. Like, I'm looking for the nearest train station, or I'm looking for the nearest coffee shop. Because priorities, right?
Ha! Absolutely, coffee is always a priority. You can also be a bit more direct if you're short on time, or if you see someone who looks like they're going in the same direction. Something like, is this the way to the museum? Or am I going the right way for the city center?
Those are good too, especially if you have a general idea but just need confirmation. Now, let's talk about what happens after you ask. The person starts giving you directions. This is where it can get tricky, because they'll use all sorts of different phrases.
Exactly. The vocabulary of directions. Let's list some common ones. We've got go straight ahead or go straight on, which means keep walking forward without turning. Super simple, but essential.
Then the turns. Turn left and turn right. Make sure you know your left from your right under pressure. I've definitely messed that up before. And often people will say, take the first left or take the second right.
That's a crucial one. Take the first, second, third turning. So it's not just turn left, but which left. Context is everything. And what about landmarks? People often use landmarks to guide you.
Oh, totally. They'll say things like, go past the big blue building, or you'll see a church on your right. And then positional phrases. It's opposite the park, it's next to the library, it's behind the supermarket, or it's on the corner of High Street and Elm Avenue.
Yes, on the corner is super common, and at the traffic lights or at the roundabout. Those are universal reference points. And once you turn, they might say, it'll be on your left or it'll be on your right. So, pay attention to which side they say.
Yeah, those little details make a huge difference. Imagine someone saying, it's about a 5-minute walk from here, versus, it's quite a trek, maybe 20 minutes. Knowing the distance helps you decide if you want to walk, or if you need to rethink your transportation.
Absolutely. Which brings us to clarifying questions. What if you didn't quite catch what they said? It's perfectly okay and even encouraged to ask for clarification. Don't just nod and pretend you understood, because you'll just end up more lost.
Yeah, exactly. I usually go with, could you repeat that please? Or could you speak a bit slower please? No shame in that. Or, if you caught most of it but need to confirm a specific detail, did you say left or right at the traffic lights?
Good ones. And is it far from here is a great general question to gauge distance. Or, how long does it take to get there on foot? That gives you a time estimate, which is often more helpful than just, it's far.
I think it's also helpful to paraphrase what they said back to them. So if they say, go straight, then first left past the library, you could say, so straight ahead and then the first street after the library, I turn left. That way you both confirm understanding.
That's brilliant, Finn. That's an active listening technique that really helps solidify the information. And if you're really struggling, sometimes it's okay to ask, could you point me in the right direction? Or even, could you show me on a map if you have one?
Oh, absolutely. The map thing is golden. Most people are happy to help, especially if you're polite. And speaking of politeness, Always remember to say thank you or thank you very much at the end. It's a small gesture, but it goes a long way.
Absolutely. It's the least you can do when someone takes time out of their day to help you. Now, let's quickly touch on some cultural nuances because this can actually impact how people give or receive directions.
Oh, interesting. What do you mean?
Well, for instance, in some cultures, pointing with an index finger is considered rude. They might use a whole hand gesture or even nod their head in a certain direction. It's subtle but something to be aware of. Also, some cultures might avoid saying, I don't know directly, and might try to give you directions even if they're not sure, just to be helpful.
That's a really good point. You have to read the room a little bit, don't you? If someone seems hesitant, it might be worth asking a second person if you're still unsure. Don't want to get led too far astray.
Exactly. Trust your gut. Also, some places are very grid-like with clear street names, while others are winding and organic, and people might use very local, less obvious landmarks. That's when the show me on a map request becomes even more valuable.
Yeah, I remember being in a small village once where directions were things like, go past old Mrs. Henderson's house, then turn right at the big oak tree. And I was like, which big oak tree? There are like 10 big oak trees.
Haha. Oh, that's so relatable. It just shows you that real-world English is so much more than just textbook phrases. It's about context, observation, and adaptability. Shall we try a quick role-play, Finn? I'll be the lost tourist, you be the helpful local.
Sounds good. Hit me with it. Where are you trying to go?
Okay, clears throat. Excuse me, I'm really sorry to bother you, but I'm looking for the National Art Gallery. Do you know how to get there from here?
Oh, the National Art Gallery. Yes, it's not too far. So, what you want to do is go straight ahead down this street for about 2 blocks. You'll pass a large park on your left. Then, at the traffic lights, you need to turn right onto King's Road.
Okay, so 2 blocks straight, past the park, then right at the traffic lights onto King's Road. Got it.
That's right. Once you're on King's Road, walk for about 5 minutes. You'll see a big department store, Harrods, on your right. The gallery is just past Harrods on the left side of the street, opposite a large fountain.
Okay, so on King's Road, past Harrods on the right, and then the gallery is on the left, opposite a fountain. Is that right? And how long would you say that walk is in total?
Perfect, you've got it. I'd say it's about a 15-minute walk in total, maybe 20 if you're taking your time. Enjoy the exhibits.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. See, Nora, you handled that like a pro. The key is that active confirmation, like you just did.
Thanks. It really does help solidify the information. And you were a great guide, very clear. This kind of practice, even just imagining it, can make a huge difference when you're in a real situation.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to pull out your phone's map app as they're talking to follow along visually. Sometimes seeing the route helps it click. It's not rude, it's being proactive.
That's a very practical tip. Sometimes a visual really is worth 1,000 words. So, to recap for everyone listening, be polite, use clear opening phrases, learn key directional vocabulary, and don't hesitate to ask for clarification or confirmation.
And remember those cultural nuances. And always, always say thank you. With these tips, you'll be navigating new places and feeling more confident in your English skills in no time.
Exactly. It's all about building that confidence bit by bit. So, next time you're out and about, maybe even try to get a little lost on purpose, just to practice. Or if you see someone looking confused, be the helpful local yourself.
Great idea. Giving directions is also excellent practice. It forces you to organize your thoughts in English and articulate them clearly. It's a win-win.
It truly is. Well, that's all we have time for today on the English Unlocked Zone. We hope this episode helps you feel more prepared and confident when asking for directions in English.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time right here in the zone.
Bye for now.